glutamate dehydrogenase reaction, glutaminase reaction. अब तुम्हें ये भी पता है monoamine oxidase और L-amino acid oxidase reaction. Also, जब हम dietary protein ले रहे हैं, जो non-absorbed amino acids बच जाते हैं gut में, तो जो हमारा bacterial flora है, intestinal bacterial flora, these will act on those non-absorbed amino acids, remove the amino group, convert it into ammonia, and this ammonia is then can it is lipophilic, so it can cross the cell membranes and enter the portal circulation. So it is imperative if a person is has a liver failure and is in hepatic encephalopathy, then it's important to give him oral antibiotics so that these bacteria are destroyed, and already these amino acids do not add to the already increasing pool of ammonia in the blood. Okay, and of course, last but not least, catabolism of purines and pyrimides will also give rise to ammonia. This is a picture showing you the various sources of ammonia and how it is taken care of. ठीक है? Ultimately from urea. यूरिया के अलावा और भी चीजें बनती हैं. Let's see. Fates of ammonia in the body. Major fate is synthesis of urea, where दो nitrogen atoms हैं वो consume हो जाते हैं यूरिया बनाने में. But apart from that, it is used for synthesis of glutamate, glutamine, and other non-essential amino acids. Ammonia can be excreted in urine as the ammonium ion and acts as a buffer in the kidney. But excess of ammonia is always toxic to the brain. Now, how is ammonia disposed of? During the course of evolution, different organisms have developed different mechanisms for disposal of ammonia. So you have ammonotelic organisms like aquatic animals who dispose of ammonia as such into the surrounding water. It is a gas. It very coolly solubilizes in water and is removed. Then you have certain animals which are uricotelic. Uricotelic matlab they form uric acid like reptiles and birds. So ammonia is converted into uric acid and then it is thrown off. And it requires some amount of water to be, it is actually not very hydrophilic. But in mammals, we are the best. Mammals में क्या होता है? Ureotelic होते हैं. They convert ammonia into urea, which is water soluble and can be very nicely excreted in urine. Okay, now let's go on to the urea cycle. Urea cycle क्योंकि हमें ultimate जो हमारा aim है ammonia का urea बनाने के लिए, ठीक है? So urea cycle also known as Krebs and Sweet cycle because of course these two are the gentlemen who elucidated this cycle. So of course, in honor of these great scientists, they have the cycle has to be given this name. It is also known as a urea bicycle, and it is also known as an ornithine cycle. Lots of names, but normally we call it as urea cycle or Krebs and Sweet cycle. It was the first metabolic cycle to be elucidated. And of course, the entire cycle occurs only in the liver. The subcellular location in the hepatocytes is mitochondria and cytoplasm. मतलब दोनों locations पे होता है. Partly in the mitochondria and partly in the cytoplasm. It has 5 enzymes. The first 2 enzymes reside in the mitochondria. So the first 2 reactions take place in the mitochondria. The next 3 reside in the cytoplasm. So obviously, the next 3 reactions will be taking place in the cytoplasm. Also, it is connected to Krebs cycle or the TCA cycle. Krebs यहाँ पे भी है, Krebs यहाँ पे भी है. तो ये common है. इसलिए Krebs cycle को So it is connected to Krebs cycle through fumarate. That is why it is also known as urea bicycle. And of course, it can also be called ornithine cycle because ornithine is one of the intermediates, important intermediates of the urea cycle. Okay, so whatever I just said, this is given here. Less toxic than ammonia, terrestrial animals convert nitrogen into urea prior to excreting it because it is soluble in water. This is the structure of urea. These two are the amino groups which are one amino group is contributed by glutamate and the other is contributed by aspartate. Okay, and the bicarbonate supplies the center carbon, the carbonyl carbon. This is supplied by the bicarbonate. Okay, let's go ahead. The first step is formation of carbamoyl phosphate. It occurs in the mitochondria, and of course, it is the rate limiting step. Okay, so how is carbamoyl phosphate synthesized? You require carbon dioxide or bicarbonate ion, amino group which is coming from the glutamate, and you require 2 ATPs. You require 2 ATPs here, and there is condensation of carbon dioxide and ammonia to form carbamoyl phosphate. The energy is given by the breakdown of ATP into ADP and inorganic phosphate. The enzyme is carbamoyl phosphate synthetase 1. अभी मैंने बताया था CPS2 भी होता है, वो हम बाद में पढ़ेंगे. But there are two different, दोनों different isoenzymes हैं, CPS1, CPS2. CPS1 is in the mitochondria, in the liver cells, bringing about conversion or condensation of carbon dioxide and ammonia group, requires ATP, and its only allosteric activator is N-acetyl glutamate. ठीक है, इसको एक्टिवेट करने के लिए N-acetyl glutamate चाहिए, which is again being synthesized from glutamate. Second step, carbamoyl phosphate बन गया. Ornithine जो साइकिल में रीजनरेट होता रहता है, वो ऑर्निथीन के साथ बाइंड करेगा, कंडेंस होगा और we will form citrulline. ठीक है, this reaction, the second reaction again takes place in the mitochondria, but immediately as soon as citrulline is synthesized, it comes out into the cytoplasm through a specific transporter present on the mitochondrial membrane. Now, okay, the citrulline, and the enzyme is ornithine transcarbamylase. Okay, this is an important enzyme, and this defect of this enzyme is the most common urea cycle disorder seen. Citrulline आ गया बाहर cytoplasm में. Now this will condense with aspartate to form another molecule, another compound called arginosuccinate, and the enzyme for this condensation is arginosuccinate synthetase. Synthetase hai because this is a condensation reaction, it requires energy. So now aspartate here is donating the second amino group of urea here. So the second amino group of urea is incorporated at this step. It requires ATP. जो एक ATP होता है, it is cleaved into AMP and pyrophosphate. So actually the एक ATP utilize हुआ, मगर it is cleaved into AMP and PPI, तो हम कहेंगे practically 4 ATPs हो गए. 2 ATP first reaction में और 2 high energy bonds इस reaction. The total number of ATP used will be 3, but total number of high energy bonds will be 4. So here you have 2 high energy bonds which are used up. This PPI is then immediately broken down into inorganic phosphates, and this gives off the energy which is used to drive this equation, this reaction in the forward direction. Matlab, condensation of citrulline with aspartate to form arginosuccinate. Enzyme is arginosuccinate synthetase. Next, there will be cleavage of this arginosuccinate. Enzyme will be arginosuccinate lyase or arginosuccinase. So it will cleave off arginosuccinate to form arginine and fumarate. Now see here, fumarate is formed, which is an intermediate in the TCA cycle. Arginine ban gaya from arginosuccinate, and this fumarate, this provides the connecting link between TCA and the urea cycle, and it is also connected to gluconeogenesis. So if fumarate bana, it goes off to the urea, to the TCA cycle, where it is converted to oxaloacetate in the presence of fumarase and malate dehydrogenase in a stepwise reaction. Fumarate is first converted into malate, okay, by the action of fumarase. Malate is then converted into oxaloacetate, and enzyme is malate dehydrogenase, and a molecule of NADH is synthesized. So see, nature is so smart. हम 4 ATP या 3 ATP यूज कर रहे हैं ड्यूरिंग सिंथेसिस ऑफ यूरिया, और by conversion of arginosuccinate into arginine and fumarate, by this reaction we are regenerating NADH. This NADH can then give off ATP. How many ATP per NADH? पहले होते थे 3, आजकल हो गए हैं 2.5, 2.5. और oxaloacetate जो है वो can be converted into aspartate. See, aspartate भी regenerate हो गया by the action of aspartate aminotransferase. तो जो aspartate हमने थर्ड रिएक्शन में यूज किया था to form arginosuccinate, वो हमने यहाँ पे degenerate भी कर दिया. So final step is formation of urea. Arginine is acted upon by the enzyme arginase. It's a very interesting enzyme, arginase, and this is the fifth and the final enzyme that cleaves arginine to yield urea and ornithine. See, ornithine भी यहाँ पे regenerate हो गया, तो ornithine भी recycle होता रहेगा, गोल गोल चलता रहेगा. So it is regenerated. It will enter the mitochondria and it will condense with carbamyl phosphate to form citrulline. Citrulline will come out, and the reaction will keep on going, keep on happening. So arginase is a very interesting enzyme. It has two isoforms, arginase 1 and arginase 2. Arginase 1 is specific to the urea cycle, and it is only present in the liver. The other enzymes of urea cycle may be present in the kidney, but arginase 1 is highly specific to the hepatocytes, right? So that is why urea synthesis occurs only in the liver and nowhere else. I hope I'm audible and I'm clear. And arginase is a metalloenzyme activated by cobalt and manganese ions. And of course, ornithine and lysine will compete structurally with arginine, and they can cause competitive inhibition. Okay, 2 words about arginase. It causes hydrolysis of arginine to form ornithine and urea. अब hydrolysis cause करेगा तो hydrolases class को belong करेगा, right? Apart from playing an important role in urea cycle, arginase is also required in other pathways like nitric oxide synthesis, like proline biosynthesis. It's an amino acid. Polyamine biosynthesis, we will be doing all these slightly later. ठीक है, मैंने बताया था जैसे it has two isoforms, 1 and 2, requires cobalt and manganese for its activity. Ornithine lysine competes with arginine as their structural analog. ठीक है, arginase 1 is specific to the liver, but arginase 2 is present everywhere for all these other pathways. This is the entire urea cycle. As you can see, अभी तक जो मैंने दिखाया था वो इंडिविजुअल रिएक्शंस दिखाए थे. यहाँ पे पूरा का पूरा साइकिल है. ये कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड, ये अमोनिया which is coming from glutamate, They are condensed together to form carbamoyl phosphate. Enzyme is carbamoyl phosphate synthetase 1. 2 ATP utilize हो गए यहाँ पे, 2 high energy bonds. The only allosteric activator for CPS1 is N-acetyl glutamate, which is being synthesized from glutamate itself. Okay, once carbamoyl phosphate is synthesized, it condenses with ornithine, which enters the mitochondria through its specific transporter. It combines with carbamoyl phosphate and ornithine combine to form citrulline. This reaction also occurs in the mitochondria. Enzyme is ornithine transcarbamylase. The effect of ornithine transcarbamylase is the most common urea cycle disorder. Okay, as soon as the citrulline is formed, it goes out into the cytosol through its own specific receptor present on the mitochondrial membrane. It condenses with aspartate to form arginosuccinate, and this condensation reaction is very expensive. It requires 2 high energy bonds to form arginosuccinate. Now, arginosuccinate is then further split into arginine and fumarate. Enzyme will be arginosuccinase or arginosuccinate lyase. Then the final step, arginine is split into urea and ornithine, and the enzyme will be arginase. हम इसको arginase 1 इसलिए नहीं बोल रहे हैं क्योंकि यहाँ पे arginase 2 है ही नहीं, बाकी जगह पे है, वहां पे भी हम arginase बोलते हैं, but they are definitely 2 different isoforms. ठीक है, यूरिया बन गया, उसमें 2 अमाइनो ग्रुप्स हैं, एक कार्बोक्सिल ग्रुप है, कार्बोक्सिल ग्रुप आ रहा है, कार्बोनिल ग्रुप है, कार्बोनिल ग्रुप जो है वो आ रहा है कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड से, और 2 अमाइनो ग्रुप जो आ रहे हैं वो एक आ रहा है अमोनिया से जो कि ग्लूटामेट लेके आ रहा है, और दूसरा आ रहा है एस्पार्टेट से. ठीक है, urea will then travel to the kidney. Urea is an extremely soluble substance in water. It will travel to the kidney and get excreted from there. The overall equation for the urea cycle will be, you have 1 molecule of ammonia, carbon dioxide, 1 aspartate, ATP, H2O. Will give rise to 1 molecule of urea, fumarate, 2 ADP. Actually यहाँ पे 3 ATP लिखना चाहिए था, यहाँ लिखा नहीं गया, गलत हो गया, ये 3 ATP लिखना चाहिए था यहाँ. तो 2 ADP 2 PI बनेंगे, एक AMP और pyrophosphate बनेगा, और तो बनेगा. It can also be rewritten, यहाँ पे ठीक लिखा है, it can also be rewritten as carbon dioxide plus glutamate, which is supplying this ammonia group, and aspartate, which is supplying the second group, plus 3 ATP 2 NAD. NAD क्यों आया है? क्योंकि जब fumarate release होता है, that runs to the TCA cycle, जहाँ पे it is converted into oxaloacetate and then aspartate finally, and during this conversion, 1 molecule of NADH is generated, right? Or rather 2 molecules of NADH are generated. To make sure, because urea cycle is an expensive cycle, it requires 4 high energy bonds. So to make sure, nature has done it, designed the cycle such way कि वो अपना self sufficient है. अगर इतने सारे ATP चाहिए तो NADH बना के अपने ATP निकाल भी लेगा कहीं ना कहीं. ठीक है, यूरिया बनेगा, glutamate will be converted into alpha ketoglutarate, aspartate will be converted into oxaloacetate, which are the intermediates of TCA cycle, right? Okay, now regulation. जब भी हम कोई cycle पढ़ते हैं, कोई pathway पढ़ते हैं, it is not complete till we study the regulation. And regulation of any pathway, any cycle is always short term and long term. ठीक है, short term normally allosteric modifications होती हैं और covalent modifications होती हैं, but इस particular cycle में सिर्फ allosteric modification ही है. So CPS1 is the enzyme which is catalyzing the rate limiting reaction here, and it is allosterically activated by a small molecule called N-acetyl glutamate, which is synthesized from glutamate. Now, it's a specific and the only activator of CPS1. Now, N-acetyl glutamate कैसे बन रहा है? Synthesized from acetyl CoA and glutamate. ठीक है, और एंजाइम क्या है? सिंथेटेज. सिंथेटेज है तो फिर एंटीबीएस. ठीक. And arginine is the positive allostatic modulator for this synthetase enzyme. ठीक है. N-acetyl glutamate itself is a positive modulator for CPS1. उसकी सिंथेसिस के लिए जो एंजाइम है उसका एलोस्टेरिक मॉड्यूलेटर है, पॉजिटिव मॉड्यूलेटर है आर्जिनिन. मतलब जब आर्जिनिन होगी तो N-acetyl glutamate बनेगा, which will activate conversion of ammonia into CPS and eventually synthesis of urea. Okay, long term generally at the level of genes होता है. It can be either transcription or translation. So there will be induction of transcription or translation whenever there is increased dietary proteins are being taken. अगर डाइटरी प्रोटीन ज्यादा खाएंगे तो हमें एंजाइम्स चाहिए ज्यादा, तो उसको ब्रेक डाउन करने के लिए तो इंडक्शन होगी, एंजाइम बनेंगे, ट्रांसलेशन होगी, ट्रांसक्रिप्शन होगी, ट्रांसलेशन होगी. ऑल्सो ड्यूरिंग द कंडीशन ऑफ स्टारवेशन फिर से एंजाइम लेवल बढ़ेंगे. क्यों बढ़ेंगे? क्योंकि प्रोटीन्स को डिग्रेड करना है. तो प्रोटीन को डिग्रेड करने के लिए प्रोटियोलिटिक एंजाइम्स चाहिए. ठीक है, उसके लिए फिर से ट्रांसक्रिप्शन ट्रांसलेशन बढ़ेगी. Apart from this, quantity of nitrogen will also increase, that has to be excreted during starvation. So again, you need the enzymes for urea cycle so that nitrogen can be converted into urea. These are the disorders of urea cycle, out of which, as I told you, the ornithine transcarbamylase enzymatic defect is the most common. उसमें क्या होगा? अमोनिया लेवल बढ़ जाएंगे, ऑफ कोर्स ग्लूटामीन लेवल्स भी बढ़ जाएंगे क्योंकि ग्लूटामीन लेवल्स बढ़ जाएंगे इन ब्लड, सीएसएफ एंड यूरिन. ऑल्सो ओरोटिक एसिड्यूरिया होता है. ओटीसी में ओरोटिक एसिड्यूरिया होता है. क्यों होता है? क्योंकि कार्बोमोल फॉस्फेट तो बन गया, ठीक है ना, CPS1 तो चल रहा है, काम कर रहा है, कार्बोमोल फॉस्फेट बन गया, मगर कार्बोमोल फॉस्फेट और ऑर्निथीन कंडेंस होकर सिट्रुलिन नहीं बना रहे हैं ना, क्योंकि दिस एंजाइम इज डिफेक्टिव. सो दिस कार्बोमोल फॉस्फेट विल गेट चैनल्ड इनटू pyrimidine बायोसिंथेसिस. जब pyrimidine ज्यादा बनेंगे तो उसका ब्रेकडाउन ज्यादा होगा, तो ओरोटिक एसिड्यूरिया होगा, क्योंकि pyrimidine breakdown causes production of orotic acid. ठीक. So this condition is X-linked. That means mothers are carriers and the sons are the patients, and it is the commonest type. Let's get back to type 1. Hyperammonemia type 1. That is because of the first enzyme. First enzyme क्या है? CPS1. अगर यही नहीं होगा तो अमोनिया will remain as such. तो अमोनिया levels बढ़ जाएंगे, can lead to encephalopathy and encephalopathy. These are autosomal recessive. ठीक है, and there will be mental retardation because of various reasons. We'll just do it in a couple of minutes. This form of disorder is comparatively rare. The second will be OTC. Then third is citrullinemia. Citrullinemia जब arginine synthetase enzyme की deficiency या defect होगा. It is again autosomal recessive. Mostly सारे ये errors जो होते हैं ये autosomal recessive होते हैं, but ये OTC defect is X-linked. ठीक है, तो arginine synthetase या synthase, when it is deficient, there will be increased levels of citrulline. Also, apart from that, there will be levels of high levels of ammonia and citrulline. And this will excrete out into the urine. So there will be citrullinuria. Citrullinuria. Next, arginosuccinate lyase. जब lyase नहीं होगा तो arginosuccinate will accumulate in the blood and the urine. And yes, it has a very peculiar feature. The hair, they become tufted and they become friable and brittle. And this condition is known as trichorexis nodosa. In arginosuccinate aciduria, जब arginosuccinate के levels blood में और urine में बढ़ जाते हैं तो hair become brittle, tufted and friable, known as trichorexis nodosa. Last enzyme is arginase deficiency. There will be hyperarginemia. Obviously, arginase नहीं होगा तो arginine accumulate करेगा. This is the mildest variety. Hyperammonemia नहीं होगा. क्यों होगा? क्योंकि arginine तक बन ही रहा है ना. Arginine के बाद का problem है. तो arginine hyperammonemia बहुत नहीं होगा. Arginine levels will be increased in blood and CSF, obviously. But instead of arginine, cysteine and lysine are lost in the urine. क्या होता है? एक ट्रांसपोर्ट सिस्टम होता है किडनीज में, तो arginine will competitively cause excretion of cysteine and lysine instead of its own excretion. ठीक है? So there will be cystinuria and lysinuria. Okay, this is another slide. I am not going to do this. This is a similar slide as the previous one, but you can go through it. It has slightly more information, but this slide has the basic minimum must know information here. So anybody who's interested in having more information can go through this slide. Okay, I am not going through this right now, but you are most welcome to take a picture and go through it at your leisure time. Of course, you will not use your leisure time to. I hope you do, but I know you won't. Okay, जब urea cycle disorders होते हैं तो mostly क्या हो रहा है? Hyperammonemia हो रहा है. Let's get back to this slide. Hyperammonemia हो रहा है, citrullinemia हो रहा है, orotic aciduria हो रहा है, arginosuccinic aciduria हो रहा है और hyperarginemia. अब इनका ट्रीटमेंट हम क्या देंगे? Obviously, protein restriction तो करना ही पड़ेगा. To 50% of the dietary daily allowance. क्यों 50%? क्योंकि बच्चा है, उसका ग्रोथ भी होना है, ग्रोथ होने के लिए मसल बनना है, बहुत सारा प्रोटीन चाहिए उसके लिए. तो एकदम रिस्ट्रिक्ट कर देंगे तो बच्चा will fail to thrive. The infant will fail to thrive. So dietary allowance restricted to 50%. ठीक है? Okay. Normally arginine supplement देने पड़ते हैं except in arginase deficiency. Arginase नहीं होगा तो arginine breakdown नहीं होगा, इसलिए नहीं देंगे. अगर arginase deficiency नहीं है, the disorder is in the previous reactions, then you have to give arginine supplement because arginine तो बनेगा ही नहीं. पहले वाले एंजाइम्स नहीं होंगे तो arginine तो बनेगा ही नहीं. इसलिए arginine will become essential and has to be taken in the diet especially. Okay, but it should not be given if there is arginase deficiency of it. ठीक. Now hyperammonemia है और अमोनिया अगर ऐसे ही ब्लड में घूमता रहेगा, it is highly toxic to the brain. So that is why we need to convert ammonia into urea or something less toxic. So ammonia scavenging agents like phenyl butyrate and sodium benzoate are given. I will show you the mechanism in the next slide. And of course, oral antibiotics to minimize the ammonia production by the intestinal flora. Okay, severe cases में हेमोडायलिसिस करते हैं और इससे भी ज़्यादा severe cases होंगे और होंगे तो the ultimate is liver transplant. Okay, now biochemical basis of the treatment which is given for these disorders. अभी मैंने बोला था arginine supplementation करना है. क्यों करना है? Arginine has become essential in the urea cycle disorder. That's why. But अगर arginase deficiency है तो definitely arginine नहीं देना, क्योंकि already arginine excess में है. अच्छा, हम क्यों फिनाइल ब्यूटाइरेट और फिनाइल ब्यूटाइरेट एंड सोडियम बेंजोएट क्यों दे रहे हैं एज अमोनिया स्टिमुलेंट एजेंट्स? फिनाइल ब्यूटाइरेट इज अ प्रोडक्ट in the body. When it is given as a treatment, it undergoes beta oxidation and is converted into the active form phenyl acetate. Now this phenyl acetate can bind to glutamine to form phenyl acetyl glutamine. Now this compound is water soluble and can be excreted in urine आराम से. बेटर है ये क्यों? दिस इज वेरी गुड ना. ग्लूटामीन को पकड़ लिया. ग्लूटामीन में दो अमोनिया ग्रुप है, तो एक बार में दो एक तीर से दो शिकार हो गए, राइट? ओके, फिनाइल एसिटेट तो bind with glutamine and get converted into phenyl acetate glutamine which is treated. जैसे ये भी बीटा ऑक्सीडेशन हुआ था एसिटाइल फिनाइल एसिटेट, ये भी एक्टिव होके बेंजोइल को ए बनेगा. याद है फैटी एसिड को भी एक्टिवेट करने के लिए हम एसाइल को ए बना रहे हैं, राइट? ऐसे ही कोई भी चीज को, ग्लूकोज को एक्टिवेट करने के लिए हम फॉस्फेट जोड़ रहे हैं उसके साथ, ऐसे ही इसको एक्टिवेट करने के लिए हम कोएंजाइम ए इसके साथ बाइंड कर रहे हैं. ठीक है, तो बेंजोएट विल बी कन्वर्टेड इनटू बेंजोइल OA. This will then conjugate with glycine. Now glycine is an amino acid with an amino group. ठीक है ना? It will conjugate with glycine to form hippuric acid. Now hippuric acid is not toxic and is soluble in water. So this is how you can remove ammonia. Phenyl acetate will bind with glutamine, will take away two amino groups. Benzoate will combine with glycine to form hippuric acid, will take away one amino, right? So removal of glutamine and glycine effectively is removal of ammonia, obviously. So let's go further. ये सिर्फ मैं फोटो दिखाने के लिए लगाया है. इट्स नॉट अ गुड पिक्चर, आई नो. ये फिनाइल ब्यूटाइरेट है. बीटा ऑक्सीडेशन होने के बाद ये फिनाइल एसिटेट बन जाता है. फिनाइल एसिटेट कैन कंबाइन विद ग्लूटामेट व्हिच इज अ नॉन एंजाइमेटिक रिएक्शन टू फॉर्म फिनाइल एसिटेट ग्लूटामीन. क्योंकि इसमें इतना सारा सा ये कार्बन चेन है, so it becomes, in spite of having a benzene ring, because of the huge carbon skeleton, huge chain, polar chain, it can be excreted in urine. Okay, next, benzoate क्या करता है? Benzoate again is a benzene ring है उसमें. It will bind, it will get activated ligase से benzoyl CoA. Benzoyl CoA will conjugate with glycine to form hippurate or benzoyl glycine. This hippurate is then excreted in, or hippuric acid is then excreted in urine. So these are the drugs which are given to decrease the levels of ammonia. अब हम इतनी देर से अमोनिया का गाना गा रहे हैं. भाई अमोनिया को निकालना है बॉडी से, अमोनिया को किसी न किसी तरीके से एक्सक्रीट करना है या उसको किसी लेस टॉक्सिक कंपाउंड में कन्वर्ट करना है. क्यों करना है ये सब? Why is it so toxic to the brain? Free ammonia is toxic to the brain. Why? Let's see why it is toxic. Excess ammonia causes formation of glutamate from alpha-ketoglutarate, right? This causes depletion of alpha-ketoglutarate, right? और alpha-ketoglutarate क्या है? It's an intermediate of the TCA cycle. अगर TCA cycle में से हम अल्फा कीटो निकाल देंगे तो TCA cycle कैसे चलेगी? नहीं चलेगी. तो TCA cycle में कितने ATP बनते हैं? TCA cycle TCA cycle में कितने ATP बनते हैं ना? वो बनना बंद हो जाएंगे. ATP बनना बंद हो जाएंगे. ये तो ब्रेन काम कैसे करेगा? ब्रेन को तो सारे टाइम काम करना है, 24/7. It is active. It never sleeps. Even when we are sleeping, it is not sleeping, right? So it needs lot of energy. अगर अल्फा कीटो नहीं मिलेगा उसको तो ATP नहीं बनेंगे, तो brain will get funky, right? So in disorder called hepatic encephalopathy, which occurs due to liver failure, ammonia cannot be converted to urea. That is why you have this liver की वजह से, liver disease की वजह से brain की problem होगी, हेपाटिक एन्सेफेलोपैथी, उसमें भी हम ये सब ट्रीटमेंट दे सकते हैं. Okay, let's see this slide. High ammonia will drive glutamine synthase and will convert glutamate to glutamine. This will deplete glutamate. Glutamine नहीं होगा तो GABA नहीं बनेगा. GABA is neurotransmitter. ये नहीं बनेगा तो CNS प्रॉब्लम्स होंगी. फिर वही बात थी, ग्लूटामेट की डिप्लीशन होगी और अमोनिया लेवल्स हाई हुए, क्या होगा? Glutamate dehydrogenase will cause the reverse reaction. More glutamate form, ऐसा ही डिप्लीशन हो जाएगी, तो 30 के साइकिल नहीं चल पाएगा. सेम, ठीक है. Okay, now you should know some normal levels. Normal blood urea levels should be between 20 to 40 milligram per deciliter. Normal urinary excretion of urea is about 15 to 30 grams per day. And that amounts to about 6 to 15 grams of urine. Okay. And of course, urea constitutes 80% of the entire urinary organic solid. And urea, along with creatinine levels, are indicator of normal renal function. Okay, अमोनिया को तो हमने मैनेज कर लिया, राइट? अब जो कार्बन स्केलेटन बचा, उसका क्या करना है? Let's see what is the fate of the carbon skeleton of the degraded amino acids. This carbon skeleton can be either used for synthesis of non-essential amino acids, or which is normally the case, or it can be used for generation of energy, especially the glucogenic amino acids. अभी हमने पहले एक तरीके की क्लासिफिकेशन देखी थी अमीनो एसिड्स की, एसेंशियल एंड नॉन एसेंशियल. अब एक दूसरी तरह की क्लासिफिकेशन है ये ग्लूकोजेनिक अमीनो एसिड्स, कीटोजेनिक अमीनो एसिड्स और ओके. सो वो कैसे क्लासिफाई कर रहे हैं हम? अमीनो एसिड्स दैट प्रोड्यूस पायरुवेट for intermediates of the PCA cycle, they are termed as glucogenic. For example, alanine, glycine, methionine. Alanine is the most important glucogenic amino acid. Okay, don't forget it. And alanine is the form in which ammonia is transported from the muscles to the liver. Amino acids which produce acetyl-CoA or acetoacetyl-CoA, they are termed as ketogenic. अब यहाँ पे हमने ना सिर्फ एक की एग्जांपल दिया है, because leucine, because leucine is the only ketogenic amino, purely ketogenic amino acid is leucine only. No other amino acid is purely ketogenic. So some amino acids can be both glucogenic as well as ketogenic. Examples are phenylalanine, tyrosine, lysine, etc. Let's see a slide which gives you this classification. ये थोड़ा सा गलत है, ये पुरानी स्लाइड है, मैंने पुरानी स्लाइड कहीं से कॉपी पेस्ट कर दिया. बच्चों, तुम लोग कॉपी पेस्ट मत किया करो. तुम लोग आंसर्स कॉपी पेस्ट कर रहे हो और सब गलत गलत कर रहे हो. We are going through your answers now. Your first term answer sheets, your theory as well as practical. वो एक बच्चे ने लिख के पता नहीं कौन से ग्रुप पे तुम डाल रहे हो, सारे के सारे वो कॉपी कर रहे हैं. बेटा, लैंग्वेज भी वही कॉपी कर रहे हो, स्पेलिंग मिस्टेक्स भी वही कॉपी कर रहे हो. आई होप यू पीपल आर लिसनिंग एंड नॉट स्लीपिंग. कम से कम कॉपी करना है तो दिमाग लगा के अपने हिसाब से लिखो, मैटर देख लो क्या तुम्हें चाहिए, उसके बाद कॉपी. मतलब अंधाधुंध कॉपी, देख ही नहीं रहे हो कि गलत सलत कुछ भी कॉपी कर रहे हो, तो वो मत करो. जैसे मैंने किया, ये गलत कॉपी किया क्योंकि और कोई स्लाइड ही नहीं मिल रही थी मुझे. इसको मुझे छुपा देना चाहिए था, बट वो मुझे ध्यान नहीं रहा. So purely ketogenic amino acid is only leucine. Lysine will be here. in this category, which are both tryptophan, threonine, phenylalanine, tyrosine, isoleucine, and lysine. They can generate either pyruvate or the intermediates or acetyl CoA or the intermediates. Okay, and purely glucogenic matlab they will be forming pyruvate or the intermediates of TCA cycles are arginine, histidine, glutamate, glutamine, choline, valine, cysteine, methionine, aspartate, asparagine, adenine, serine, and glycine. Okay. Okay, this was about the urea cycle, and ideally I should be talking about the synthesis of non-essential amino acids one by one. But I thought let us start talking about the amino acids one by one, and I will take up one amino acid and finish it. मतलब ऐसे नहीं कि मैं अभी यहाँ synthesis बताऊं फिर उसका breakdown तो हमने कर ही लिया फिर उसके special products या उसके functions मैं कहीं और बताऊं. So what I'm trying is I will start with one amino acid and discuss or talk about it everything. जो भी उससे related information आपको देनी है, I will talk about it in one go. So let's start with glycine, which is the smallest and the simplest amino acid. Please let me know when you are totally bored, so then I will stop. But I would appreciate if we finish with glycine today. I will really appreciate that. Is that okay? So I will or you want a break? Somebody write a message. You want a 5-minute break or I continue? I am waiting for a message, please. बच्चों, wake up. नींद तो नहीं आ गई? Continue, ma'am. Ah, I like that, ma'am, as an afterthought. No, ma'am, continue मतलब क्या होता है? Continue. Okay, thank you. बस बहुत है. Majority हो गई. 5 ही होगी मेरी majority. Okay, I'm continuing then. So let's start with glycine, smallest, simplest, non-essential and optically inactive amino acid. Optical activity के लिए क्या एक prerequisite है? The center का atom should be a chiral atom. Chiral atom मतलब इसके outermost shell में 4 electrons हैं, तो it can form 4 bonds. तो चारों के चारों जो हैं, they should be different, but not so with glycine. Glycine में 2 hydrogen atoms हैं. So this carbon is not chiral, so it is not optically active. Okay. Now, what all products can be formed from glycine? Creatine, glutathione, heme, purine bases, and bile acids conjugate. But before that, let's discuss the synthesis of glycine. सबसे पहले जो मैंने आपको जो रिएक्शन दिखाया है वो सबसे कम इम्पोर्टेंट है एक्चुअली, बट ये बिल्कुल स्क्रैच से बना रहे हैं हम ग्लाइसिन फ्रॉम कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड एंड अमोनिया. The enzyme will be glycine synthase. कोई पैसे नहीं मिलने, कोई नंबर नहीं मिलने इसको आंसर करने के. ग्लाइसिन बनाने के लिए ग्लाइसिन सिंथेज ही चाहिए ना, और क्या चाहिए? सबस्ट्रेट्स क्या हैं? कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड, अमोनिया, and it requires NADH, and of course it requires tetrahydrofolate as N5, N10 methylene या methylene tetrahydrofolate. These two will condense to form glycine. Inert will be given off. This reducing equivalent will be used. N5 and 10 methylene tetrahydrofolate will also be used. So glycine synthase is a multi-enzyme complex and requires PLP, NAD, and DHA. I need 2-minute break. I need to take a sip of water, please. Okay, thank you. Now, the second method by which glycine can be synthesized is from serine. Enzyme will be serine methyl transferase, and it will require tetrahydrofolate. So glycine metabolism requires a lot of tetrahydrofolate. यहाँ पे भी चाहिए, यहाँ पे भी चाहिए, and as you can see, it's a freely reversible reaction. So depending upon the conditions in the cell, it can either form glycine or serine. And the methyl group transfer is brought about by tetrahydrofolate. क्योंकि ग्लाइसिन को 2 ही कार्बन चाहिए, सीरीन में 3 है, तो ये हटाना है, तो this will be taken up by tetrahydrofolate to form methylene tetrahydrofolate. अगर रिवर्स रिएक्शन करना होगा तो this tetrahydrofolate will donate the extra carbon to form serine from glycine. Okay, it can also be synthesized from glyoxylate and glutamate or alanine. The glycine aminotransferase will be the enzyme which will catalyze the synthesis of glycine from glyoxylate and glutamate. Glutamate or alanine will be reacting with glyoxylate to form glycine. And this reaction strongly favors the synthesis of glycine. So here you can see glyoxylate along with glutamic acid or alanine. Enzyme will be a glycine aminotransferase. Glutamic acid will be converted into alpha ketoglutarate. Basically, glutamate is the donor for the amino group. Glyoxylate will get the amino group from glutamic acid or glutamate and will form glycine. अब aminotransferase है तो PLP तो चाहिए ही है इसको. Why? Because the amino group will be transferred by formation of shift phase in a ping pong type of reaction. Okay, it can also be formed from an essential amino acid called threonine. Threonine can also be obtained, can also form glycine, and the enzyme will be threonyl aldolase. Threonine will be split into glycine and acetaldehyde by the action of threonyl aldolase. And finally, glycine can also be formed from choline, which is the lipotropic factor. And I am not going to tell you the pathway by which choline is sequentially or stepwise converted into glycine. It's a long pathway. We need not do that, but you should know to complete the list. I'm telling you that glycine can be synthesized from choline. Okay, degradation of glycine. क्या करना है? जो बनाया था उसको तोड़ दिया. तो ये रिएक्शन हमने पहले भी देखा था, but this reaction is freely reversible. मतलब कि ये it is favoring the opposite reaction, the reverse reaction. So glycine is normally converted into carbon dioxide and ammonium ion, and it will be generating one NADH. So this way you get energy supply also, right? And transfer of an extra amino group, carboxyl group to tetrahydrofolate. This is an overview of metabolism of glycine. Glycine can be, these are all reversible reactions. So glycine can form these or can be synthesized from the peripheral molecule. Glycine is in the center, and the other molecules which are at the periphery, they can either be synthesized from glycine or they may give rise to glycine. All the reactions are reversible. Okay. Now we come on to the special products that are formed from glycine. सबसे पहले हम बना रहे हैं creatine. Creatine is present as creatine phosphate, which is a high energy compound and it is present in the muscles. Synthesis of creatine requires participation of three amino acids. One of them is glycine, the other two are arginine and methionine. Okay? So creatine can also be converted into its anhydrous form, creatinine, which is a non-enzymatic reaction, and creatinine is used as a marker for the renal function. Glycine or arginine will combine together to form creatine, but methionine is basically required for transfer of methyl groups. Methionine is generally converted into S-adenosyl methionine or active methionine. S-adenosyl methionine is also known as SAM, short form, and the only function of SAM is to donate methyl groups to a number of reactions where it is required. So here also during synthesis of creatine, methyl groups are required which are donated by methionine, and glycine and arginine are forming the skeleton of the creatine. Creatine is converted into creatine phosphate, which is a high energy compound present in the muscles. And if you remember, creatine kinase or creatine phosphokinase is an important enzyme which is involved in the metabolism of creatine. It is synthesized in the liver and transported to the other tissues. And 98% of the creatine is present in the skeleton and the skeletal and the heart muscles. In muscles, it is converted to high energy source creatine phosphate or phosphocreatine. And this creatine phosphate is mostly required for replenishing ATP. जब भी ATP यूज अप होके ADP या AMP बनते हैं, then creatine phosphate is the high energy compound which replenishes them. Okay. The next product which is formed from glycine is glutathione. It is a tripeptide formed from glycine, cysteine, and glutamate. Actually, it is an atypical tripeptide, also known as gamma glutamyl cystinyl glycine. तो मैं ये बोल रही हूँ, if you remember, normal alpha peptide bond जो बनता है, that is between alpha carboxyl group and alpha amino group of two adjacent amino acids, right? But ये जो bond बना है, ये बना है गामा ग्लूटामेट. तो ग्लूटामेट का जो गामा कार्बोक्सिल ग्रुप है उसने बॉन्ड बनाया है विद द अल्फा अमाइनो ग्रुप ऑफ सिस्टीन. ठीक. So this is an isopeptide, an atypical bond between gamma carboxyl group of glutamate and alpha amino group of cysteine. Now, glutathione has certain very special roles in our body. It is the major intracellular reducing agent. Major intracellular reducing agent involved in maintaining the integrity of RBC membrane. It has free radical quenching properties and also brings about detoxification of xenobiotics by, how does it do it? By transferring reducing equivalents to them. ठीक है, ये GSH के फॉर्म में होता है और अपना रिड्यूसिंग इक्विवेलेंट दे के GS का डाइमर बन जाता है. GS मतलब ग्लूटाथियोन में सिस्टीन है ना, तो सिस्टीन इज नोन टू फॉर्म डबल सल्फाइड डाइमर्स, सल्फाइड ब्रिजेस, राइट. तो जब इसने अपना एक रिड्यूसिंग इक्विवेलेंट गिव ऑफ कर देता है to maintain all these functions, it is converted into a dimer of GS. Okay, I have this is a slide showing the list of various enzymes which are brought about by glutathione. Glutathione is an amazing molecule, it's an amazing tripeptide. These are some of the functions of glutathione. Okay, if you can remember, it is very good because glutathione is an important molecule in biochemistry and it can come as a short note, maybe as an MCQ. Again, I just found this slide very appealing. So this is another way of representing the functions of glutathione. This is the physiologically important form of glutathione, GSH. Once it gives off its hydrogen ion or reducing equivalent, it is converted into a dimer of GSG, GSSG. तो डाइसल्फाइड ब्रिज बन जाता है और glutathione का dimer बन जाता है, which has to be reduced back to its active form GSH. ठीक है, उसके लिए फिर NADPH चाहिए होता है. That's a long story. We're not going into that. ओके, और क्या बनाता है? ग्लाइसिन बहुत कुछ बनाता है. छोटा सा मॉलिक्यूल है, नन्ना सा, सिंपल सा, बट देखो क्या क्या चीजें बनाता है ये हमारे लिए. हीम बना. If you remember, glycine along with succinyl CoA, which is an intermediate of TCA cycle, they condense together to form ALA and subsequently heme in the erythroid and tissues and the hepatocytes. Okay. Next is the entire molecule of glycine is used up to form the carbon 4, 5 and nitrogen 7 of the purine ring. The purine ring का carbon 4, carbon 5 and nitrogen 7 are the atoms which are coming from glycine, because the entire molecule of glycine has contributed to this portion of the purine base. Okay. Now, if these things are not enough, glycine is also involved in conjugation of bile acids. उससे क्या होगा? Bile acid कैसे बनते हैं? आपने lipid metabolism में पढ़ा है. Bile acids are synthesized from cholesterol and they have a very, very important physiological role in digestion of lipids, right? So इनकी एम्फीपैथिक प्रॉपर्टी को और बढ़ाने के लिए, क्योंकि लिपिड्स तो लिपिड्स हैं, वो हाइड्रोफोबिक हैं और उनको डाइजेस्ट करने के लिए जो एंजाइम्स हैं वो प्रोटीन्स हैं, वो हाइड्रोफिलिक हैं. तो हाइड्रोफोबिक और हाइड्रोफिलिक चीजें आपस में कैसे मिलेंगी? They will not meet, they will not come closer because they are opposites. They will go away from each other. But herein lies the function of bile acids. Bile acids will cause emulsification of fat. This word is important, बच्चों, emulsification of fat. They will cause emulsification of fat, break down larger droplets of fat, dietary fat, into smaller droplets so that to form micelles, so that the enzymes can act on the dietary fat. तो ग्लाइसिन अब यहाँ पे क्या कर रहा है? ग्लाइसिन उसका जो एम्फीपैथिक प्रॉपर्टी है वो उसको और बढ़ा रहा है. ठीक है, तो ये है बाइल एसिड्स, फोलिक एसिड, okay, cholic acid combines with glycine to form glycocholic acid. Quinodeoxycholic acid will form glycoquinodeoxycholic acid. क्या बात है. Okay, ये हम पहले भी कर चुके हैं. Glycine can combine with benzoic acid to form benzoyl glycine, which is sulfuric acid, which is it's not a toxic substance. It is easily soluble in water and can be excreted in urine. So, अभी और है लिस्ट में glycine के कारनामे. It can act as glycine itself, the entire molecule can also act as an inhibitory neurotransmitter. And in collagen, which is the most abundant protein in our body, every third amino acid of glycine. Why? Collagen consists of 3 polypeptide chains. They are joined together by . hydrogen bonds. Okay, and it has alpha helix. So alpha helix में glycine can fit easily because of its small structure. It is very good for alpha helix. So every third amino acid is glycine in collagen polypeptide chain. ये मैंने आपको बताया, glycine causes detoxification of benzoyl CoA by conjugating with it and producing hippuric acid. This is one way of looking at it. The other way that we just did was glycine was being used as a form to be excreted out. The ammonia should be excreted out. So glycine was the transport system for ammonia to be excreted out as a comparatively less toxic substance. जैसे मैंने बताया, glycine being small, it can fit in small spaces of a polypeptide, especially in alpha helices, beta bends, and beta turns. Okay, so this was about glycine. Let's go on to the next two amino acids. They're also simple amino acids, alanine and aspartate. Alanine is synthesized by transamination of pyruvate and aspartate by transamination of oxaloate. Acetate enzymes will be alanine transaminase and aspartate transaminase, ALT and AST. These two enzymes are clinically also very important, and they belong to the non-functional plasma enzyme category. Okay, of course, all the transaminases are specific, and of course, they have diagnostic importance too. The amino group, sorry, pyruvate and oxaloacetate, they are keto acids respectively. So they need an amino group to be converted into an amino acid. वो amino group कहाँ से आ रहा है? Glutamate से आ रहा है, ठीक है? So the amino group is donated by glutamate. Okay, amino group is donated by glutamate, and of course, alanine and aspartate, when they are broken down back to pyruvate and oxaloacetate respectively. Transamination reversible reaction है, बनाएगा भी तो बिगाड़ेगा भी, ठीक है ना, तोड़ेगा भी वैसे. ये इनके structures हैं. ये alanine है. If you can appreciate, the only difference between glycine and alanine is an extra methyl group. ठीक है ना? ग्लाइसिन में दो हाइड्रोजन एटम्स हैं, इसमें एक हाइड्रोजन हटा के यहाँ पे एक मिथाइल ग्रुप डाल दो तो वो एलानीन बन गया. And the good thing about alanine is it's a very good gluconeogenic amino acid, and it is also important as a transport form of hormone from the muscle, and it is also involved in the glucose alanine cycle during gluconeogenesis. एलानीन के लिवर में जाएगा, लिवर में जाके ग्लूकोज में पायरुवेट बनाएंगे, पायरुवेट से ग्लूकोनियोजेनेसिस करके ग्लूकोज बनाएंगे, ग्लूकोज फिर वापस मसल को आएगा, मसल से फिर एलानीन जाएगा, वहां पे जाके ग्लूकोज बनेगा बाय ट्रांसमाइनेशन एंड देन ग्लाइकोलिसिस, और फिर ग्लूकोज बन के मसल में आएगा. ठीक है, चलो. देन aspartate or aspartic acid is an acidic amino acid. It has two carboxyl groups, right? And the importance of aspartate is it is getting converted into asparagine. Apart from being the source of ammonia and part of polypeptide chains, it also forms asparagine, which is an amide of aspartate, and the enzyme for synthesis of asparagine should be aptly called asparagine. Synthetase hai to ATP chahiye. So it uses glutamine as the source of amino group, and the reaction resembles glycine synthesis. Similar hai, theek hai? Aspartate plus glutamine will form asparagine. Asparagine is broken down by the action of asparaginase. It will be broken down before transamination to form oxaloacetate. Okay? Now, asparaginase has some clinical utility. It is an enzyme which breaks down asparagine. So asparaginase is an enzyme that breaks down asparagine. Cancer cells are unable to make their own asparagine. So asparaginase can act as an anti-cancer drug, and it causes the cancer cells to stop from being dividing and growing, because it will stop making जो भी asparagine होगा उसको break down कर देगा asparagine को. Asparagine becomes essential amino acid for cancer cells, because जब भी whenever there are conditions of increased growth, asparagine will become essential. ठीक है? So cancer cells will not be able to grow if we give this as a anti-cancer drug therapy. Shall we stop here? We'll continue in the next lecture, which will happen on Wednesday now. Is that okay? Thank you so much for being so, thank you. Thank you so much for being so patient and listening. I hope you were listening. And goodbye for now. We'll meet on Wednesday. But tomorrow you have a practical class at 2. So be there on time and be attentive. Very soon, I think your hybrid platform will start. I think you will start coming to college, right? And then I think lectures will still be on the online mode, but your practicals and tutorials will start. So please buck up. अभी तो घर पे हो, मस्ती कर रहे हो, जो मर्जी कर रहे हो, time waste भी कर रहे हो, I'm sure. तो वो बंद कर दो और अपना टाइम को थोड़ा सा अच्छे से यूटिलाइज करना शुरू करो, because once you start coming to college, a lot of time will be wasted in commuting. Okay, goodbye for now. We'll meet next week. See you.